Hello. I'm just coming on to do this video to show you, because I'm about to launch the Butterfly Field Notes Journal Kit on my website. So I thought I'd do the usual flip through. I think it's quite handy to not only look at the sample properly, but also to see what you get in the kit. So I'm going to put the sample to one side to start with, and I'm going to show you what you get in the kit. So if I pull it all out to start with. So the idea with this kit is that if you like it, because I've already done the groundwork for all the instructions, the folding instructions and everything like that, if you get it home, you make it and you really love it, the idea is that I can use the same principle again, but instead of butterflies we could do beetles or wildflowers, or whatever we fancy. So it's kind of going to be a buildable set of field notebooks. So that's for the future. So title page, you've got a few pictures here for inspiration and your contents list. You've then got your folding instructions, because essentially this is an accordion fold journal. There's no stitching involved, it's all folding. So I've gone through step by step, and I've got your little pictures here where I've labelled your A, B, C, D, whatnot, to make it easier for you. I find with anything to do with bookbinding, folding, anything like that, just to put it in writing can be a little bit confusing sometimes. So the photos I figured would help. So that's the instructions for the inside pages. You then get instructions to do your slip cover. Again, no stitching, it's all folding. And then there's a few little hints and tips. More, rather than hints and tips, it's more kind of like, these are some of the bits that are in the kit and this is what I've done with them. There might be things that aren't overly apparent what they're for. So there's just a few little notes there. So if we go through the contents of the kit, if we start with the bigger pieces first, you get a piece of tea-dyed paper. Looks very vintage. Obviously the colours will vary, some will be more distressed than others, but that's handy for layering, making pockets. Yeah, if you're doing matting and layering, that sort of thing on images, always handy. And in the sample that I'll show you in a second, I've made a couple tiny little notebooks within the notebook, and that paper is really handy for that. This is the main piece of paper. So this is what's been holding me up from launching the kit, because I needed to be able to print A3 to show you, and my large printer was out of ink. That's come now, so we're good to go. So this is, it looks a bit weird that the middle section is missing, but that bit doesn't get seen when it's folded up, so I figured it's wasteful to print the centre as well. So this is from an antique ledger. So there's some script on one side and just the page on the bottom. So that is what you use for your folding instructions. You then have a full A4 page full of butterflies, and this is what I was saying on the previous video. So I've gone through some images from antique encyclopedias, taken out the images of the butterflies that I like, clean them up, because obviously from the antique images they're quite dark and they've got a dark background to them. So I've taken them all out, cleaned them up, made sure I've put them with the corresponding names, so that you can cut those out for your specimens and samples as well. And then I've put in a few little tiny ones as well. So you've got a full sheet of that, possibly more than you'll need, but handy for other projects as well. Then I've printed this sheet out, which has just got your field notes, your specimen, your figures. So you can fill these in with a fine line pen, and then distress them down when you cut them out to make them look old to go into your book. Tea bag paper, this is always handy. You might use it in this project, you might not, but if you stick it over other images with PVA, you can see through it and it automatically gives it that vintage feel. Also, you can fold it over, you could put little butterflies inside, stitch round or stick around, and it's like a little captured butterfly in there. The same with the muslin. You get a little square of muslin. Again, the same as that, you can capture the butterfly inside there or take strips of it. I just think it looks really nice with the frayed edges. The butterflies look nice on there as little sample specimens as well. 2 little strips, so I printed off some graph paper on some vellum. See if I can peel this off, and then put sticky back on it. So it's almost like a washi tape but a bit thicker, but this is nice to snip down to put over the corners of the pictures that you insert. A little silver sheet of embossed numbers. This is nice as well if you use your brown distress ink and sponge over the top. It gives it that nice antique feel, almost like an aged metal, so that's nice with the samples. You have 6 pieces of patterned papers, so I've tried to pick colours that kind of go with the theme. There's a few little pink bits in some of them, so yours might vary slightly. So with this one, some of the kits have got more pink down the centre, but they're all from the same packs of paper. You have a bit of napkin, because I thought this is really nice if you tear around the images. Put it on with PVA, so you decoupage it on, and it gives the journal some nice colour and some nice little details. A little bit of papyrus paper. This is nice if you rip it and you get this feathered edge. Again, nice for layering with a butterfly on the top. A bit of graph paper. You've got a small piece of well-aged vintage map. Again, nice for layering. And then your larger piece of map, which is a newer map. This is for the cover, so that's in your folding instructions as well. You've got a piece of wax paper. So this is nice. If you were to cut a section, let me just show you a second. If you were just to cut a section off, fold it like this with a little overlap. I would put a little bead of glue there to stick it down. Fold the bottom edge up and glue it, and then you've got like an old-fashioned glassine bag. So you can make that with all different sizes, and again put your butterflies in. If you make tiny little notebooks, they can go in there as well. So just thought that was a nice touch. And then the little ephemera bits. And what I might do as well is do some add-on ephemera kits. So if you want some extras, like these sort of things, which I love, I might do some kits with things like this in, so that you can do some add-ons for, you know, other projects you've got, or if you want more. Actually, you shouldn't need more in this journal. I think you've got plenty in here, but if you fall in love with these like I have, you might want some more. Now, let's see if I can open it on camera. Probably can't, I've got no nails. There's a little notch there, which I don't know if you can see. It might not focus. I don't think it's gonna. There we go. There's a tiny little notch there, which opens out. So you've got a little lid. So what I was doing was putting like a little bit of the muslin in there with a butterfly, a little specimen or a number, and then the lid can go on, clicks on, and I've used it on the front cover. Really cool. And then you've got this one for inside. So again, what I've done is put a butterfly in there, ink the back of it because you can see both sides, put a bit of distress ink just to tone this down a little bit, and then you can put some writing or numbers or whatever on there. And I've actually done it as a flip. I'll show you in a second. 2 really cute little mini lollipop sticks, because these are nice to stick labels over the top and then distress the edges because it stands proud slightly. You've got 20 centimeters of lace here. This is really nice if you cut little strips. You know, you can edge your little samples, things like that. It looks really cute. Bulldog clip, which I was using, and you've got 2 of these little tags as well, and I've tied one onto there to secure the journal shut and then put a little label on it. You've got paper clip if you want to do an altered paper clip rather than using it as it is, and a little bulb clip as well, which is nice if you want to do like some little dangles, some little tickets and things like that. That's nice hanging from. So that's your kit. Let's move that all to one side. and I'll show you the journal. So there's the little specimen holder there on the front, so you can see how it stands proud, and one of the labels. And then this has been layered up, so I've got the pattern paper there, I've got the napkin, the little lollipop stick, and some of the lace all on the front. I tend to decorate the front cover first, because then I think it gives you the theme for the whole journal then. But it's a case of putting it together however you fancy. The way that this folds together, let me just bring this in. So when you follow the instructions, this is what you will end up with. This is your basic journal, barring you won't have the letters on there. This is what I lettered up to do the instructions with. So you've automatically got a pocket in every page because of the way that it's folded. Now you might choose to keep a pocket on every page, you might choose to stick one down. I actually thought it looked quite nice if you did some stitching. I haven't done that on any of my samples because I didn't really want to introduce much, if anything, that wasn't already in the kit. But I do think it'd look nice if you did some stitch lines there or around, you know, however you fancy. But you've also got that little slot there. This is the slip cover, basically. So I pull it apart, you can see that acts as a slip cover. So yeah, that's your bare naked journal. So I'm just, I know I've been rambling already for like 11 minutes, so I'm not going to go through in detail. I'll do another video if you do want to see all the little elements in detail, maybe when you've got your kits home. But just flipping through, that's on the bulb clip. So the one thing I did add to this was I punched a hole and put that one in just to secure it. So I think that is the only thing I've added that isn't in the kit or isn't on the list of things you need. The list of things you need is basically things like scissors, knife, ruler, distressing, the sorts of things that most people will have. And then my one little bit with some stitching on, just to remind me to tell you how cool the stitching would look. And more butterflies on the back. They were only put on there really just to show you how many butterflies you get. And I think on this one I used all the butterflies. So it is quite heavy on those images. But even little things like this where it's layered with the little napkin bit, I just think looks really cool. So I mean, you can add as many things as you like to go into the pockets. And let me find, so this one here I've just stapled to the top. You could glue it, and that's just some scraps of paper as a little notebook. And the same in here, tiny little sample book there. And like I said, I've included the names of the butterflies on the sheet, so even if you've cut one out, because some of them are replicated, you can write it in yourself as well. So yeah, that is the butterfly journal. Like I said, my intention, if you like this, is to then do a series of them, like I said, with wildflowers or beetles or birds or anything like that, and you can kind of build a little collection, and then maybe we'll do something at the end to you know, maybe a nice little display box or something to put them in, might be nice. But that is the kit for the accordion fold butterfly field notes journal. Bit of a mouthful that, but that's what you get, and that's what I did with it, and they are now live on the website. So hope you enjoy, and I will see you soon.